who saved the village. In the heart of a sprawling forest lay the small village of Eldenbrook, a place where life moved slowly and the villagers thrived on the fruits of the earth. But while peace enveloped Eldenbrook, it also concealed a deep-rooted fear that had been passed down for generations, a fear of the great beast that lurked in the mountains. Legend had it that every century, the beast would descend from the peaks to lay waste to the village, leaving nothing but ruin in its wake. The elders spoke of the beast in hushed tones, describing it as a monstrous creature with the power to control the elements. Some believed it was a dragon, others swore it was a dark spirit, sent to punish them for past sins. Yet, for the past 99 years, the village had lived without any sign of the creature, and so the tales began to fade into myth. At the edge of the village lived a boy named Rowan. He was not like the other children, who spent their days playing in the fields or helping their parents with chores. Rowan was a dreamer, and often he could be found gazing up at the mountains, wondering if the stories of the beast were true. His father, a woodcutter, had told him countless times that the beast was merely a figment of the elders' imaginations, a story to keep the children in line. But Rowan had a feeling deep in his bones that the stories were real. One evening, as Rowan sat by the river, watching the sun set behind the mountains, he noticed a strange glow emanating from the peaks. It was faint at first, like the light of a distant star, but soon it grew brighter, flickering like fire. His heart raced. He ran back to the village, hoping that someone would believe him. When Rowan reached the village square, he found the elders gathered, their faces pale with fear. The warning bell had already been rung, and the villagers were rushing to gather their belongings. The beast was coming. For the first time in a century, the glow of the beast's fire could be seen from the village, and the ground trembled beneath their feet. Panic spread like wildfire, and soon the people were fleeing to the forest, hoping to find safety before the beast descended upon them. But Rowan stood still, watching as the sky darkened and the air grew thick with smoke. His heart pounded in his chest, not with fear, but with resolve. He couldn't abandon the village, the place where he'd grown up, where his family and friends lived. Someone had to stop the beast, and though he was just a boy, he knew that someone had to be him. Without a second thought, Rowan turned and sprinted towards the mountains. The path was steep and rocky, but he moved swiftly, his determination driving him forward. As he climbed higher, the air grew colder, and the light from the beast's fire grew brighter. He could hear the distant roar of the creature now, a sound that shook the very earth beneath his feet. It was far more terrifying than the legends had described. Its massive body was covered in scales as black as night, and its eyes burned with the fury of molten lava. Flames flickered from its mouth, and its wings, stretched wide, blotted out the sky. The beast roared again, and Rowan could feel the heat of its breath on his skin. For a moment, fear gripped him, but then he remembered why he had come. This was his home, his family, his village, and he wasn't going to let this monster destroy everything he loved. Rowan reached into his pack and pulled out the only thing he had brought with him, a small stone, smooth and round, given to him by his grandfather. His grandfather had always told him that the stone was special, though he had never explained why. Rowan had carried it with him ever since, believing it was a good luck charm. Now, as he faced the beast, he felt something stir within him. The stone in his hand began to glow, faintly at first, but then brighter and brighter until it was like holding a piece of the sun itself. The beast noticed the light and turned its fiery gaze towards Rowan, its eyes narrowing in anger. Rowan's heart raced, but he stood his ground. As the beast roared and charged, he held the stone out in front of him, hoping against hope that it would protect him. To his astonishment, the light from the stone grew even stronger, and as the beast neared, it was forced to stop, blinded by the brilliance. Rowan felt a surge of power course through him, as if the stone were filling him with strength. He stepped forward, the light surrounding him like a shield. The beast recoiled, letting out a roar of frustration, but it could not approach. With a cry, Rowan raised the stone high above his head, and a beam of light shot forth,